friends, it's KT, and this is my second take on this video. This is the Adventure Force Jurassic Pro, and the first time I sat down to talk about this, I wound up rambling quite a bit because there's a lot to unpack here. I was actually really lucky to bump into this blaster at a Walmart on my way down to a game in Massachusetts, and was really excited to pick it up and make a video for you. But these things are pretty expensive. You're paying the licensing fee for Jurassic World on top of the regular cost of an Adventure Force Pro blaster. So if you want to support my ability to do this in the future, maybe hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. That would be super, super helpful. And check my other content stuff down in the description. I stream music on Twitch and do other fun things. Anyway, I did get some gameplay in with this blaster. Unfortunately, I didn't get footage of it. My 7-year-old had the GoPro on at the time, so I only kind of got some distant secondhand footage of myself with the blaster. You can probably see it's got some mod parts on it that came from Foamdemic. There's a bunch of new stuff coming out. And I think this is a blaster that the mod community is going to take to very quickly. So as an Adventure Force Pro blaster shooting over 100 FPS, it is a unique blaster. It's the first of its kind in that it is a bolt action blaster, but it's also the first of its kind in that it is a licensed blaster. I actually think it's really weird that we wound up in this situation where being the first bolt-action blaster, because we've had a flywheeler with the Mark III and we've had a sidearm with the Mark II. We've had multiple pump-action primaries in this range with the Nexus and the Max Striker and the Mark I. It's the first bolt-action that we get is this licensed product. And now my initial impressions on this blaster, honestly, a lot of people have really talked about how much they like the aesthetics, and I have to admit, I think that it's really blocky and ugly. It's got these like massive, like sort of weird combinations of curves and straight lines. And as much as I appreciate bright colors and the fact that there's an orange tip, and even if you take this off, there's still an orange tip, and even if you take this off, there's still an orange tip, I just think that the overall look of the blaster is not very exciting. And that's not Dart Zone's fault, obviously. It's based very closely on the tranquilizer gun from Jurassic World. So they didn't really have a lot of choices in the shape. I think there's a huge missed opportunity with this magwell, where this could have been like a flared magwell or at least like a recessed one. But also if you compare these mag adapters and the full-length magazine to the ones that come with all of the other Pro line blasters, the height of this is actually different. And they're not cross-compatible with all the other blasters. You can use all the other ones in this blaster, but because the magwell is higher on this one, you can't use this stuff with like a Nexus Pro or any of the other Pro line blasters. One really big plus is that this barrel is very, very long, but partly I think because of how far up the actual sealed barrel comes to here, or just something about the design of this barrel, there's actually very little barrel drag. In fact, let me cut to chronograph footage where I can show that off a little better. So this is only the included Adventure Force ammo. I'm going to be shooting it out of the included magazine as well. So that's a 140, 143, 142, 144, 145. Very consistent. Let's take the barrel off, see how that changes things. Of course, I get a misfire right off the bat. There was a dart stuck in there. Okay. All right, we only have a few shots left now, but that's fine. This should tell us what we need to know. 147. 148. 139. That's a weird one. 147. There's actually quite a few left. 149. Dual. Oh, that was it. So there was actually a tiny FPS boost taking the barrel off. Not a lot, but it was very consistently a few FPS more other than that 139. So this is not the magazine that comes with it. I don't know where I put it. But this is full length darts. 77, that's a fluke. 131, there we go. 86. How often is this gonna happen? 126. 135, 131, 133, take the barrel off, 139, 137, 138, dual 138, another one, and that's it. So I gotta say, kudos to whoever designed this barrel, because the barrel drag is actually very minimal. There's only a few FPS loss on it. It is very consistent, but I'm pretty impressed, honestly. There's a few other really great functional things about this blaster. One of them is, it comes with this iron sight up front and in the back. I can actually get my cheek down and look all the way down the iron sight. A lot of them, they have these iron sights on them, but then like the cheek rest spot is so high that I have to like smush my face down onto it, or you just can't look down the sight at all. So I was impressed by that. The real thing that's impressive about this blaster is the internals. So we've got an oval plunger tube inside this, which means that in the same sort of space, you've got more volume, and so there's less draw for more power, which is one of the things I love about blasters like the Skewer, where it's an easy draw because of the direct prime, but you get a lot of power out of it. This kind of has that. The oval plunger tube just makes it a more efficient blaster. But also, there's this test that we do on like 3D printed blasters and blasters with their air restrictors removed, where you seal the end of the firing tube and fire, and you can tell this thing has a pretty wild seal. That's the kind of thing we typically expect out of like carefully tuned hobby blasters, not off-the-shelf products. So it's really exciting to see something built to that caliber coming out of Dart Zone's factories. Now, another huge minus point in my book goes to the stock. I do think the stock is one of the best aesthetic parts of the blaster. It's just very cool looking, and it's actually reasonably comfortable. I mean, none of these stocks and these are great, but there's a huge problem with it that comes when you try to actually prime it. The priming force is still significant. I'm going to point this directly at the camera and then just pull back on this and hold the stock in the same place, and you can see that the whole blaster bends significantly based on the amount of priming force necessary, and then bends right back when I straighten it out. That's pretty atrocious. I would much rather just run it like this rather than deal with the stock. I know that Foamdemic has made a attachment for N-Strike stocks to go on this, and I'm really excited to mess around with that because I think that that will make this a blaster I might actually want to run, despite the looks. So partly because this is such a weird beast, I want to avoid making a real purchase recommendation on this. I think it is a very strange item to have come out. I'm really excited about the future of Dart Zone having access to licensing because they make such high quality products, and the rest of the Jurassic World line that I've seen that is kid-friendly blasters looks so cool. I'm not 100% on this, partly because you are paying the extra money for the branding, and it's designed as a functional blaster, but it has enough functional problems. That stock is just a huge issue that I don't know how great this is going to be unless you're just a huge Jurassic World fan and you want to put it on your shelf. So kind of a hit, kind of a miss. Glad I have it. I will probably mod this one and see what I can come up with. So that's all I've got on this. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the field. So I'm out here in the woods taking pictures with my Jurassic Park toy, as you do. And I'm pretty excited for later on this year when the rest of the blasters come out. All the ferns are just starting to grow. I'm gonna have some awesome, huge ferns to take pictures of the new Jurassic Park blasters with. So, you know, that's something to look forward to, I guess.